So I'm a pretty normal mid 40s, late 40s guy who went from this to this in just over 90 days. I did that by picking a specific eating plan and then a couple of weeks later running across Andy Frisea's 75 Hard Challenge. I want to talk about 4 things associated to 75 Hard that you might find valuable and interesting as well. And I have a free PDF in the comments below that's going to outline in writing all the things we're going to talk about here today. Just before I jump into the video, I want to introduce myself. My name is Matt. I am a pastor, author, and leader of the New 90 Men's Coaching Program that helps men all over the country level up in specific areas, including their faith, family, future, fitness, and their finances. We don't only do fitness, but this is one of the things that we do. So I think it might add some value to anybody who's watching this. So number 1, why did I do 75 Hard? So at the end of last year, I was in the middle of this coaching program that I mentioned earlier with several of the guys here locally in Phoenix where I am. And I didn't want to just tell them what to do. I wanted to walk through it with them. And so one of the goals that I set for myself was to lose 14 or 15 pounds over a 90-day span. And I did that, just kind of controlling my diet and working out every once in a while. I was able to accomplish that, and all the guys that were in our program accomplished their health goals, and we were super stoked for everybody who was there. But towards the end of that, I found out kind of unexpectedly and shockingly that I got laid off right around Thanksgiving of 2022. I didn't have any clue that it would take me more than 4 months of interviews and sending out resumes and applying for jobs for me to get reemployed back in corporate America for what I do. And so I became very stressed and fearful. And during that time, I didn't navigate my stress very well. And so I turned to kind of eating to cope with all the things that I was uncertain about on the work and financial end. What I did was I wound up regaining plus some all of the weight that I had lost in the end of 2022 coaching program. And I kind of was feeling really dejected and down. I was able to find work eventually and kind of get back on my feet for our family financially. And I realized then that I had another coaching program coming up in a few months, and I could not walk back into that program as a hypocrite, someone who didn't take my own advice, someone who wasn't listening to the things I had just taught to maintain the gains that I had in a whole bunch of areas, but specifically with my fitness. And so I realized I need to do something for myself so that I can walk in the leadership position that I feel like I was about to take in some of these guys' lives here again with New 90. I kind of in the middle of April decided I was going to try the carnivore diet. Now, the reason I picked that one is because I have played music for more than 20, 25 years, and I'm a keyboard guy. And I went to the doctor about 1.5 years ago and told him that I was really sore and stiff in some of my joints, but especially my hands. When I'd wake up in the morning, my hands were always stiff. They were swollen. I had to kind of like work them out to kind of get them warmed up and functioning throughout the day so they wouldn't hurt as much, especially because I'm on a laptop and a keyboard for my job. He told me that, I had played music for a very long time and spent hours and hours and hours of, banging in concerts, on that keyboard and in rehearsals and in practices and songwriting sessions and recording sessions. So I was going to have to deal with the pain because it was arthritic in nature. I kind of just accepted that, but I kind of heard through some of the videos I was watching about the carnivore diet that it might really help someone in my condition, so I gave it a shot. After several weeks, I had dropped between 10 and 12 pounds and was really happy with that and thought, oh, I'm getting close to where, I was before. Then I ran across the 75 Hard Challenge. And if you don't know what the 75 Hard Challenge is, there's basically 7 rules that are kind of disciplined and health focused. And here they are. The first one is you got to pick a diet and stick with it. Doesn't matter which one it is, just pick one and commit to it fully. Number 2 is to drink a gallon of water every day. Number 3 is to read 10 pages of a nonfiction book every day. Number 4 is to take a picture every day of your progress. Number 5 is absolutely no drugs or alcohol, 100% complete sobriety during that time frame. Number 6 is you have to work out twice a day. And each one of those workouts needs to be a minimum of 45 minutes. And one of those workouts has to be outside. And then the 7th rule was if you miss a day or any element of any day, you have to start all the way back at day 1 and then get through 75 days consistent without missing. I'm not really a drinker, so I was already checked that box off. I was already drinking a gallon of water with the current health plan that I was on. I was doing carnivore religiously, so I was already doing that one. And so all I had to do was, take a picture, do a second workout. I was working out a couple times a week, but kind of up my workout frequency, and then read the book. So I thought, hey, let me give it a shot and see what happens. I was unable to get below 226 pounds for probably 7 or 8 years straight and kind of resigned. That was just as low as I was going to be able to get. Well, I started at 242 pounds and I ended it at 215 pounds. So I wound up losing 27 pounds over the course of the last 90 days. I was stunned because not only did I get below that threshold of 226 that I thought I wasn't going to get below, but all of the inflammation that I was experiencing and the pain in my hands completely 100% went away. All went away. They were sore a couple times from my workouts, doing a bench or holding barbells or something like that, but that is a far different type of pain than the swelling of joints and the arthritic stuff that was going on beforehand. Completely different. So I had a very successful run with 75 Hard. Number 2 thing I wanted to talk about was my specific plan. I already mentioned that I did the carnivore diet. I mixed that with intermittent fasting, meaning that I only ate between an 8-hour window. And for me, that was noon to 8 p.m. I found that if I was eating in the morning, I got really sluggish and sleepy in the afternoon. And so it became something really good for me to just wait till lunchtime to eat and then not eat after 8 p.m. This really helped in my focus of when I was cooking things and what I was going to eat and my meal preps. That really helped me as well. I live in Phoenix, Arizona, and it just so happened that I picked to do the 75 Hard Challenge in the summer as we were getting into the summer and late May, early June. This particular summer, it's been one of the longest streaks of over 110 degree days that we've had in a very long time. So the only way that I could do these workouts outside and survive was to get up at 5:15 in the morning and start walking at 5:30. So my first workout that was outdoors was me walking at a certain pace that would help me get through 2 miles every morning. I did this every single morning. And one of the ways, if you're thinking about, man, I got to get up early, how am I going to do this? There's a lot of negotiating that happens after the first week about, man, I'm tired. Am I really going to get up this morning? It's dark outside and so on. But one of the things I've found is that if you can remove the barriers of what it takes for you to get going in the morning, it really helps. Let me give you an example. I would pull my walking shoes out and put them next to my bed with my socks and my sunglasses and my headphones so that when I rolled over in the morning, I saw everything was right there at the edge of the bed ready to go. It may not sound like it's a big deal, but knowing that I was within an arm's reach of being prepped to go walking really, really helped me. The other thing I did was I started my day with 16 ounces of water that had pink Himalayan sea salt in it. If you're doing the carnivore diet, you understand that this kind of helps your body start to absorb a lot of the water that you're going to be consuming throughout the day. I would wait 10 minutes and then I would drink another 16 ounces of water that had electrolytes in it, and I would take that with me as I walked my 2 miles in the morning. I'd also take another bottle of water with me because I ran out of the water that I would start with that had the electrolytes in it halfway through my walk, and it was getting hot and I was sweating in the morning. So I had the carnivore diet, intermittent fasting, a way that I started my morning with drinking the water, and then I would find a time either later in the morning or over my lunch break at work to hit the gym. On certain occasions, I would go at night if my schedule kind of worked out that way, but it wasn't ever anything I really pushed off till the end of the day for my gym workout. I would just make sure to do it typically by around lunchtime throughout the day. If you're like me and have a family and responsibilities and other things that you're involved in throughout your life, thinking about, man, how in the world am I going to carve out time to do this 2-mile walk in the morning and this gym workout every single day? I'm only going to eat in a certain window, so I have to prep things a certain way. I got kids that have to go to school and be picked up. I got family members who need help. I got all these other responsibilities. How am I going to do that? I found that as long as I'm communicating what my goals are and everybody around me understands that I'm serious about fulfilling this 75 days, all of them in some way, shape, or form either chipped in or looked out for me on several different areas. Some people didn't bring certain kind of foods home because they knew that it was my favorite. Some people would make sure they weren't asking me to go to dinner or to eat past a certain time. They would always ask me, hey, can you do this at this time because I know you're committed to this thing. So if you will communicate to the people around you and your family and they see that you're serious and you're sticking with it, what you're going to find is what I found is that people are willing to kind of help and look out for you during this time frame. So I went through all of this, and the thing that I kind of struggled with the most was reading the 10 pages. So what I did, instead of sitting down with a physical book and reading 10 pages of a nonfiction writing, is I downloaded the app Hoopla. Now, they don't sponsor this or anything like that. It's just a free app that I found actually from a friend of mine that really helped me. So how Hoopla works is you just have to go get a local library card from wherever you are. You use that to sign in, and then Hoopla has digital ebooks or audiobooks that you can download to the app check them out for about 3 weeks and then go through them. What I would do to try to help me with my schedule is go to the gym, and then I would listen to 1 to 2 chapters depending on their length while I was doing my workout, and I would stop after my sets and then take notes if it was something that I really wanted to remember. That really helped me schedule-wise get all of the components in and not miss. Now, some people, they don't really like the fact that you would, do audiobooks instead of physically reading the books. And to those people, I say, yay you, it didn't work for me. The thing that worked for me was doing the audiobooks. And so you can download Hoopla. It's completely free for any smartphone, Apple or Android. Number 3, what are the pros and cons of the 75 hard challenge? The pros are the results, right? Like you've seen my results, and I completed it about a week ago, and I've still been able to maintain, if not lose another pound or 2 while I'm trying to figure out my own regimen going forward about how I will maintain these gains and what are going to be some guidelines for how I'm going to live going forward. That's really the pro of it, right? The other thing is that it helps you to do something that you may not think you have the discipline to do. If you can really figure out the reason why you want to do 75 hard, outside of, I want to fit into that shirt that I think I look good in, or I want to fit into those pair of pants or something like that. If you have a real reason why that's outside of something superficial, like I want to make sure I extend the health and energy and time of my life so I can make a great impact on my kids, on my nieces and my nephews, on the people that are my friends and family. I want to make sure that I have a long time left with my wife because, that girl I married, I kind of like her. We're about to celebrate 25 years at the middle of next year. And so all of these things were great motivators that kind of informed my discipline to keep me going to accomplish the goal. All of those things increase when you keep your word and you do all of the things that Andy's lined out in this program. When you read those books, you're going to start realizing, man, there's a lot of good stuff out there that I could consume rather than the junk of just Netflix and chill all the time. Instead of just wandering down the road aimlessly of social media for the 2.5 hours that the average person spends on social media every day, I can actually take that time, combine it with a workout, and actually learn something that will help me in my life. This information became very motivating to me and very clarifying for a lot of things I was actually in the middle of considering in my own life. I'm an overthinker, so paralysis by analysis really took a hold. And a lot of the stuff that I read or listened to on these audiobooks really helped me as I made a decision to move forward in a bunch of other areas. The con side of it is you're gonna be sore. If you've never done 2 workouts in a day ever, or much less for 75 days straight, you're going to have some sore joints. You're going to have some sore muscles. My lower back was sore. I would encourage you to invest in some Icy Hot. That really helped me at night for a long time. And it's going to require that you get used to the soreness. But you can have the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. You get to choose. And in my life and my experience, what I've found is the pain of regret is 50 or 100 times worse than the pain of discipline. The discipline pain that I feel means that I've actually gone and done something. I'm trying something. I'm making progress forward. But the pain of regret means I just sat back and waited for something to pass by me, and now I'm regretting that I did that. That's really the only con I can see. And it's actually not very much of a con. You're just going to be sore. It's going to require some time. It's going to require some planning. It's going to require you lining out your schedule and reading labels of things to see if it, from the carnivore diet, there's 0 sugar. So I had to read the labels of so many things, and I had no idea how many foods had sugar or corn syrup slid into them that I was consuming on a regular basis. Spices, sauces, creamers, all kinds of things that that kind of were exposed during this process. And it took a little while. It took some effort to have to read all of those labels back and forth, but it turned out to be a wildly beneficial thing for me. Number 4, the last thing I want to talk about, are the unexpected things that happened to me during this time frame. First is that when I got down to about the 230, 229, 228 range, when I was getting closer to that 226, I thought, oh, there's not a lot of weight on me left to lose. I felt like I was closer than I really was. And then as I continued to go and got down to 215, I thought, oh my goodness, I had no idea that I could lose more than this because my mind was kind of stuck on that 226 number. When you hold yourself to a standard that's outside of yourself and you want to complete the challenge, what you're going to find is there is a different level of understanding and motivation about yourself that you may not have seen had you not done something out of your normal routine. The normal routine for me was a lot of work. It was a lot of coming home tired. It was a lot of, just trying to make it through the day. It was kind of a blah attitude I had. And this really kind of helped me from the diet and exercise and kind of clear my head a little bit. Showed me that I'm capable of more than what I am convinced I can do right now at this moment. And it showed me that as someone who's 47, about to be 48 here in a couple of weeks at the time of recording this video, is that your best days are not behind you. They're not. If you're someone that's rocking a dad bod like I was, for sure. If you're someone who was tired, or you're getting to that point where you're getting close to your 50s, or maybe you're after 50 and you're like, oh man, those prime years are behind me. I have never been in this good a shape since I've been married. I have my physical body composition is so much better and different. And my energy is up. As I said before, my inflammation and stuff, especially in my hands, is gone. And all of these things were kind of unexpected, unintended consequences that were positive when I went through the 75 Hard Challenge. So do I think everybody should take on the 75 Hard Challenge and accomplish it? Well, I'm not a doctor or a dietitian. So I would encourage you not to start any new diet or eating program or workout program without consulting your personal physician, because they probably have a better idea than I do or anybody else about your specific needs. But if you're physically able to, and your doctor will give you sign off to do it, I really encourage you to do it. I would really encourage you to look at the challenge, take it head on, and make sure that you don't miss any of those days. There was a couple of days, especially around day 57, 58, where I almost convinced myself to take a mulligan. There was something that kind of came up in our schedule that was unexpected. It caused a lot of stress for me. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to get in both of these workouts and to do all this stuff. And I was really close to the edge of talking myself out of, no one's going to know. Just take the day. Don't do everything. Do whatever you can. And then just pick it up tomorrow. And we'll just skip today. And then I had to ask myself, am I going to live with the fact that I lied? That I didn't keep my word, that I was dishonest. I didn't go 75 days. I went 58 days, took a break, and then went another, however many days it is to finish it off, another 17 or whatever. So I didn't want to live with that. I wanted to make sure I did it all the way through. And there is a remarkable benefit for the consistency of finishing the program. Doing it is one thing, but doing it consistently breeds a whole different level of clarity and discipline for people in general. If you are somebody who would like a copy, like a written copy of kind of what I just went through, and a little bit more detail that shows what I did and what I bought and the things that I ate, and some tips that I have for people who are wanting to take the same thing that I did, I put a free ebook together that is going to be available down in the description of this video that you can go get. Just drop your name and your email in there. They'll shoot you out a link, and then you'll be able to download a free copy of the book. I call it One Decision. You are right now at a place where you could make one decision right now to change my health and change the trajectory of my family. That is within your reach right now. So go down there, get a copy of that ebook. Just drop your email in there one more time. They'll send you a link to it, and it'll give you a full description on everything that I did that you can use as a guide or a basis of something that you want to do to build your own plan as well. Hoping this helped you, and I'll look forward to talking to you guys again soon.